It's being called San Francisco's most intriguing murder case in years. Soon after the body of Zachary Barnes, local gallery owner, was discovered on the morning of March 13th, noted artist James Tobin was arrested. Insiders have told this reporter that District Attorney Sterling Granger does not yet have full cooperation from witnesses. With the trial only weeks away, San Francisco residents are wondering, can the DA build a solid case against Tobin?
Well, Zach, my business partner, came at me with a gun this morning and told me that he was going to kill me.
Mr. Granger, I have a question of my own first. Am I right to assume you have a pretty good case? Why are you going after Jimmy?
He's been charged with murder.
But it was self-defense, I'm sure.
Did you ever see a gun in the Barnes gallery?
I don't remember.
If Zachary Barnes fired a gun this morning, if he pulled the trigger, there'll be some residue on his hands that'll show up in our tests. But if his hands are clean, I'm going to charge you with murder.
Is there anything else you can share with me?
No, I don't have anything else to share.
With the opening of the trial today, sources tell us the DA's case is far from airtight. But we expect some big surprises as DA Granger builds his case.
This case was commenced by the people of the state of California against the defendant, James Henry Tobin. The state is charging him with grand theft and murder in the first degree.
Did you tell the defendant about the gun?
No.
Did you go back and take a second look at the gun in the deceased's office?
Yeah, I went back. I looked at it again and saw the words on the barrel.
Did you go by yourself?
I can't remember.
You can't remember? That's ridiculous.
Listen, I didn't know what Tobin was going to do with the damn gun. I had no idea.
Now, slow down, please.
And finally, Ruby, what should be important to you is your own work. Because it's good, and it could get lost in all this mess. Capiche? Love? Zach?
In a shocking development in the James Tobin murder case, Ruby Garcia, girlfriend of the accused, made some startling admissions today on the stand, which could substantially affect the outcome of this trial.
Will the defendant please rise?
The jury finds the defendant.
In the first degree, someone's dead, someone's lying. See you in court.
This case was commenced by the people of the state of California against the defendant, James Henry Tobin. The state is charging him with grand theft and murder in the first degree. Will the prosecution please call its first witness?
And finally, Ruby, what should be important to you is your own work. Because it's good, and it could get lost in all this mess. Capiche? Love? Zach?
Cut. That's the one. Beautiful. This product really is a bit of a departure for Broderbund. We really are a full-service publisher, and we really are looking to publish all different kinds of voices and really bring all those voices forward to our audience. But we haven't really done a product that really tackled the issues of human drama and filmmaking in this sort of way before.
So in this game, there's a murder. You learn about it through the sensational news stories because these people are fairly prominent in San Francisco. And then you learn about it through your inspector, Looper, who went to the scene immediately and began interviewing people.
I went over my videos, my interviews with the witnesses, and I took out all the juicy parts for you. They're on your desk.
As in any murder, or not any murder, but in this murder, all the witnesses were very close to the deceased and to the accused. And they all have mixed feelings because they were a tight group of people and mixed allegiances. And as is the case with a real prosecutor, you have to try and find out what really happened, and you have to try and get them to speak to your case in court. It's a very hard case, and unless you're very good, he will walk.
We want to do an interactive drama, and we were looking for a structure to base it on. Would it be a love story? Would it be some sort of romance, or would it be... And Peter came up with this idea of, well, let's let the player be a lawyer in a trial. Peter got really hooked by going to murder trials in City Hall. Apparently, all the time there are a couple or three murder trials going on one of the floors, and so you can just, when one's interesting, you go into that one, and then when it gets boring, you can walk across the hall and go into another one. So he spent a lot of time getting soaked into that. When he was at the courtroom, he met Al Giannini, and he's really the person who's been leading us in terms of what's the legal constraints are and what the realism of the courtroom actually is.
It was a real focus of this game, of this program, to force the player to make real choices, but realistic choices, and to have the results be the results that would follow from those choices. I was pretty happy with how true to life the final product was.
No, I don't know anything about the gun.
It was a tremendous amount of fun. It was a lot of fun to collaborate with those guys and to work with them in trying to develop a game that was both realistic in the technical sense of actually simulating what it was like to try a case, but also realistic in the emotional sense of posing the dilemmas and posing the questions that are really posed by the trial of a case.
Did you go back and take a second look at the gun in the deceased's office?
Yeah, I went back. I looked at it again and saw the words on the barrel.
Did you go by yourself?
I can't remember.
You can't remember? That's ridiculous.
Listen, I didn't know what Tobin was going to do with the damn gun. I had no idea.
Now, slow down, please.
The old joke is, you always have three sets of testimony. You have what the witness tells you in your office, you have what the witness says on the stand, and you have what the witness tells you in the hall after she's testified, or he's testified. And to a certain extent, they're never the same. I mean, it's just not, people just aren't like that. They're not robots. You can't throw them up there and expect exactly the same thing to come out with exactly the same emotional tone.
Beyond just ensuring the accuracy of the legal aspects of a trial, it was decided that a screenwriter was also needed, with a background in character and plot development.
In a interactive set where you have possibly multiple endings, where things are going to work out in response to the player, the character could possibly act many different ways. So that was one of the primary challenges of this thing, is you're left with sort of two different things that can happen in response, two different ways that you can make this thing happen. One is environmental changes can make a character act differently, okay? The other thing is the way in which the player interacts with the game.
I think one different thing about this is that the game is the drama. There isn't a drama off to the side. There aren't movies off to the side that you occasionally see. The movies are the drama, and you essentially select the movies by what paths you choose to go.
What was that?
We cast for months and months and months. We read so many actors. The game will live or die in a way on the credibility of these people that you see on screen.
My name is Terry Orth Pallavicini. I am playing Cynthia Charleston, and she's a bitch, basically. I mean, that's what I've been told, is that she's a very forceful lawyer. She's just, she's very strident. She believes everything that she is doing is 100% right.
You told Inspector Looper that you had never seen the gun before. And now, under oath, you're saying that you yourself borrowed the gun from your cousin. Which story is true?
Because it's a game, that sort of wavers and changes, because based on how the game is going and how it's being played, the forcefulness or whatever, there are times when obviously it's not working. So there are times when she's trying to do one thing, but it's not quite coming across, which is why eventually the game plays out in different ways. Miss Garcia, isn't it true that you and Zachary Barnes plan to run off with the insurance money after James Tobin's paintings were stolen?
That's crazy.
The role of Ruby, we had worked with that actress, Adrienne, before, and I think she's an absolutely genius. I don't understand. I'll give her these lines, and she immediately understands the way they're supposed to be read. She just, like that, she understands them. I had worked with her before, and I was so in awe of her talents that we wrote that whole part for her.
I have identified with Ruby from Jumpstart. Young, doesn't come from the richest of families. They may have tried to help her, but couldn't. She was determined enough to make her own way in her artistic way, just to get a scholarship, to get out of there, to believe in herself, in her work. That was her getaway.
Ruby, I don't know what to believe anymore, but I've decided the least I can do is tell the truth. Yeah, right.
That will be enough, Miss Garcia.
But in order to visualize the shots, what were the possibilities of the shots, we did all the modeling on the computer in 3D, and it really helped us think through the shots. I'm sure, so all the storyboarding was done in 3D. I'm sure that's going to be done more and more. We modeled the whole courtroom in 3D, and then we could look at it any place. And maybe in 3D modeling, you can put a camera anywhere you want. So the witness and the judge, and we're all there in this virtual courtroom. So after we modeled all this in 3D, we then found, the art director, Steve Burns, found a courtroom that we liked.
35mm slides were taken of the courtroom to provide the background plates over which the drama would be played out. The next and possibly most crucial step was to shoot the live performances of the actors using blue screen technology so these could then be composited with the backgrounds.
The problem is to make it look real, to fit somebody in so that they're not in front of the wrong thing and in back of the wrong thing. The lighting all has to look like it's motivated to match the shot. And again, that's both an advantage and a disadvantage. It's like a blueprint of what you need, so it's a much more disciplined kind of thing when we're on a stage like this.
Sophisticated computer imaging systems were used to ensure that each actor and their performance would look realistic in the appropriate background. In this way, the lighting, size, and body position of the actors could be checked and adjusted as needed.
Eventually, I'm sure we'll have interactive drama where all different characters can react to other characters in various ways, and various things will happen. But that is so complex to try and design that this was nice because the reactions between characters are very constrained. It's usually one-to-one. Occasionally the judge will say sustained, but it's a very specific kind of interaction, and it flows in a very linear way, oddly enough. So it was a very good way to begin trying to marry these two very different traditions of storytelling and drama on the one side and interactivity on the other.
You say you and the defendant were in bed from 11 p.m. until 7 the next morning?
Yeah.
Do you not recall him getting up at any point?
No.
Have you ever slept through your boyfriend getting out of bed?
How would I know?
Answer the question, Ms. Garcia.
Yes. I suppose it's possible he could have gotten up without waking me.
Ultimately, this is all about the actors, in my mind. What I do, how I capture them, what the backgrounds are, it makes it all great. But it's all, if you can get sucked in the story. It's all about the story, and it's all about your manipulation of the story.
Did you go by yourself?
I can't remember.
You can't remember? That's ridiculous.
Listen, I didn't know what Tobin was going to do with the damn gun. I had no idea.
Now slow down, please.
After the live action performances are completed, there comes the daunting task of compositing the images and then editing the many storylines into cohesive movies.
Once the tape has been shot, we digitize it on the computer using QuickTime. And after that has been digitized, we can bring it into a project and mat it against a background. And we get a finished product that looks pretty realistic.
Yeah, right now, this is Yvonne, and this is how she appears on the set over here. And we have all this that we have to remove first. So we remove her within this program and composite her against blue, and then we take a virtual clip of that. We virtualize that section and bring it back down to another part of the window here and composite her in this room. So now she goes from blue screen to inside of a chair. And so we're doing that with all the characters and trying to make them look realistic within the set. So we're having a good time editing in digital. If something goes wrong, it's a challenge. It's not, frustrating. We, at least that's what we tell our therapists.
After the compositing of the video was accomplished, the software programming of the game was undertaken at Broderbund.
I believe it's cutting-edge technology, and we're trying to do something that I believe that no one's done before. And the quality of the movies that A&A is coming up with is better than anything I've seen on the market so far. Before I started this project, my boss allowed me to play about 7 to 10 different games that have video in them, and no one really was successful doing what we're trying to do.
The result of all this painstaking effort and intricate cooperation between human and mechanical elements is a truly new and unique art form. The ultimate boundaries and limitations of interactive drama are yet to be discovered. In many respects, In the First Degree explores the heart of this new territory.
I truly see this as a breakthrough product. I've been involved in many interactive storytelling types of products over the years, some with video, some not with video, and clearly I think they haven't solved the problem, but they have found an interesting approach to the problem, and I really think that users of the product are going to sense that, are going to be very compelled to play this product, to be able to play it many times, to get many different things out of each time they play it, to really become a part of the human drama.
I get the feeling that we're in a cutting room in 1908 or something, and we just discovered what a close-up was. You know, it's so primitive what we're doing. It's so exciting in trying to figure out what this new medium is.
Mr. Granger, I have a question of my own first. Am I right to assume you have a pretty good case?
Yvonne's a proud woman. She's trying to save face. It's probably easier for her to believe that I was chasing her husband, but the truth is, Zach was always trying to get me in bed.
Look, I'm not stupid. The police say Tobin plugged Zach with that gun. So? Everyone knows I was Tobin's slave, that I'd do just about anything he wanted. I mean, if I go to court and testify that I told Tobin about the gun, they were going to think that I was in on it. Were you? See?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?